So if you're working past 60, still grinding for security, you're paying a hidden cost with your health, your relationships, and your best years. And in this video, I'm going to show you what nobody warns you about with that working past 60 grind and how to get your time back without having to work another 10 years to get it. And I know because I was heading for that trap myself. I thought my real estate business was going to carry me through. Instead, it drained me and left me with the distinct feeling that if I didn't do something different and soon, I was going to end up pushing into my 80s with absolutely nothing to show for it. And if I hadn't made a serious altitude change, I'd probably still be grinding away with some new real estate deal, miserable, tired, and watching all my time slip away. So stick with me because I'm going to show you the hidden costs of working past 60 that nobody's talking about and the reset that gave me my freedom back. Now, for those of you that are new here, hey, I'm Harry. I'm a grandpa and a pilot from the prairies in Canada and a guy who spent decades chasing the financial freedom the hard way with a real estate investment business that started taking a lot more than it gave. And now my mission is simple. I want to help people just like you, hardworking parents in your 50s and your 60s, finally break free from that grind and live the adventurous retirement that you've dreamed of, not the one you have to settle for. So before we jump in, if you want to get more info on these kinds of conversations and see what kinds of different adventures that you can experience when you're not saddled to a job, making somebody else's dreams a reality, then make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And if you know somebody else who's struggling with having to work another 10 years just to settle for a retirement they get, not the freedom they'd wanted, hey, be sure to share this video with them. Because I'm probably like you. I grew up being told the same story you probably heard. Work hard, pay into the system, and someday you'll retire comfortably. But here's the problem. Someday kept moving further and further away. And when I was deep into real estate investing, I thought I was being smart. I owned properties. I was bringing in rental income. And on paper, it all looked super solid. But the reality? Every furnace, every roof, every eviction, and boom, my profits were gone, sometimes for months. And I was dipping into my line of credit just to survive. That's not freedom. That was stress with a shiny label. And the big lie that I almost believed was this: just hang on, Harry, work another 10 or 15 years and everything is going to balance itself out, which was fine when I was 45. But the trend certainly wasn't going towards any sort of balance. And working longer wasn't any kind of a solution. Heck, as a matter of fact, it was the problem. Because let me be blunt, stress steals your health. In those years, I wasn't sleeping great. My blood pressure was going through the roof. I was eating all sorts of junk food on the go. And I know a lot of you are in that same boat. You wake up tired, you go to a job that drains you, and you tell yourself, oh, I'll just push through. But here's the truth. If you lose your health, what good is your retirement? Because I'm going to tell you a little story here. One of my neighbors and a friend of mine, he was in the trades and he worked hard his whole life and he retired on time with a great union pension. Well, barely a year and a half later, he was gone from a heart attack. Never even got to touch his retirement years or make any kind of memories with his family now that he had all the time in the world. And that was my wake-up call. I realized that every year I stayed in that real estate grind was another year off my life, not adding to it. And with the way my real estate biz was going, there was never going to be a day when anything would ever come close to balancing out. And that one hit me the hardest. What about your time? See, here's the thing. Money, you can always earn it back. But time, once it's gone, it's gone. And I used to tell myself, oh, I'll take that trip someday. I'll build that airplane someday. I'll spend more time with Shanna someday. But that someday just kept getting further and further and further into the future. And I realized one day that if I kept working like this, I might not have those magical Christmases that I wanted to have with my grandkids. And that shook me. Because when you start counting life in Christmases or birthdays or summers at the lake, all those memory things, you realize just how little time you actually have left to live. And that's when I knew I had to make some serious changes. So that's when I started looking into the online world to see what kind of options I could find there that helped me create generational wealth without the feeling like I just took on another job. And that's when I found the Freedom Formula Blueprint. Because honestly, I didn't feel like trading my health or my best years just to feel secure. So if you want to see how to build income streams that actually support your life instead of stealing it, hey, grab the blueprint in the description below. It's free and it's the exact model that I wish that I had 20 years ago. And here's another hidden cost of working too long: your joy. Because believe me, when I was in the moment of another real estate deal, I was on autopilot, day after day, just going through the motions, getting this documentation filed or getting that inspection completed. And after living under those stresses for too long, I'd forgotten what it feels like to be excited about what I'm doing with my life. Because believe me, I used to love real estate, but real estate had just ceased to be any kind of a big excitement driver like it used to be. It just seemed to be that every new property deal that I made just had me thinking, how long before this one's going to blow up in my face? And the longer you put off that retirement, or at least the reset, the harder it gets to rediscover what your real purpose is. And without purpose, retirement is just a slow march to nothingness. And believe me, I did not want to lose my drive for learning and doing things that excited me, because I've seen too many people step away from work and they just drift because they waited too long and they no longer had the desire to do the things that they originally wanted to do. They lost their spark. And I didn't want to lose that. But when you reset sooner, you give yourself the chance to actually grow into something new, something that makes you come alive again. So what did I do? I found a blueprint for a business that didn't require a bunch of tech skills. It didn't require me to bug friends and family for sales, and it didn't drain me, nor did it require huge sums of money up front like real estate did. It was simple, automated, and it gave me back something that I'd lost. It gave me back control of my calendar. So now I fly when I want, I spend afternoons working on my airplane projects, and I'm available for those adventures with Shanna, and all the while knowing that my business is working in the background. And listen, I'm not trying to impress you, but to impress upon you that if a 63-year-old grandpa from the prairies can do this, hey, you can too. Because I know that drudgery of feeling like the business or the career that you've worked so hard at has become a weight around your neck. And the best way to get out of that trap is by switching gears and interrupting your patterns towards a new challenge that's more in alignment with what you want out of your next years. So if you're ready to stop putting life on hold and finally take back control of your time, hey, download the Freedom Formula Blueprint today. Because my dream is to help 100 families this year get out from under that retirement cloud and on to a new possibility so they can start having those fun adventures and making great family memories without having to keep their nose to the grindstone. And what I'll do is I'll show you how to start small, build simple, and create a retirement that you want, not the one you're stuck with. So let me leave you with this. Waiting has a cost. And honestly, regret is the heaviest cost of all. If you can afford to step out now or even start part-time with something new, hey, don't wait on this opportunity, because every year you wait is a year that you're never going to get back. So here's the truth. Trading more hours for dollars is not the answer. The real answer is leveraging high-income skills to create the life that you don't need to retire from, one that gives you the freedom, the adventure, and the peace right now, with reliable income to fund all your adventures without having to worry about which ones you're going to have to give up in order to make it happen. So listen, if a 63-year-old grandpa from the prairies with zero online experience can build this, hey, so can you. And that's exactly why I want you to go down into the description and grab my Freedom Formula Blueprint. Inside, I'm going to walk you through all the same simple steps that I use to get started, so you can begin building your own online income stream, even if you feel like you're starting late. And it's totally free. You can grab your free copy down in the description. And this is your chance to finally stop trading hours for dollars and start creating a life that gives you both freedom and security, because it's never too late to start writing your next chapter. And now that you've seen what's possible, you're going to want to watch this next video right here. That's where I break down the exact strategy that I'm using to step away from the grind and design my life of freedom. Put that together with what I've just shared in this video, and you'll see that you can do this too. So until next time, I'm Harry, and I'll see you soon.